Well, I was just thinking to myself, like, what do I really enjoy out of anime? And like when I list the things, the top two are storyline and the actual visuals of it, like what it looks like to me while I'm watching it. Because a couple of animes back when they first started out, some that I do regret now that I might not have given a chance just because it kind of looked bad, didn't look worth my time. And like the first one that I can stick out, and which we've been read for in the past, is One Piece. I completely stone cold dropped One Piece like it was nobody's business after like 2-3 episodes because I was like, "Who drew this? Like, was you being funny?" Like that was me.
I cannot. Yeah, I want to just before. I can't. The early, I just can't watch it. But
Yeah, so that really turned me off. But as I like see it now, and I see how far the animations come, and I hear more and more about the actual storylines and the plot development and the backstories of a lot of the characters, like Sanji. We talked about him briefly in our Fire episode. He has a great backstory and progression as a character. So like that's one that I regret. I'm not gonna watch it. I'm not gonna do it. Sorry, but I can fully stand up in the fact that. I might have judged it, prematurely, and now that it's in what some would say, a great place, it's kind of too late for me. So it made me think, like, what do people really look for in their animes? Because some people worship One Piece. Some people worship some of the more, maybe not artistically inspired or amazing feats, but the storyline is amazing. It might have, like you said about Gurren Lagann, how it actually has like heart and like substance behind it. Even though I'm not gonna take nothing from Gurren Lagann, because even though I did kind of think to myself, it's not really great hardcore animation. There are some amazing scenes in Gurren Lagann, but I'm just talking about as a whole when I just look at it. Like if it's something that gives you Attack on Titan, if it's something that gives you like the way Talk.0, I think that's how you say it, Attack.0, the way that looks versus this trash storyline, that's something. I feel like they overhauled everything into the animation of it versus.
My husband said like episode 160, and it's not too late for you to get into it. He did like blow through those episodes. He started not too long ago, so that's One Piece.
You on 160 of what? 1,250.
That was, you know what I'm saying? But I do say I can definitely say I hate the way One Piece looks.
I do. I did. I think I like it a little bit now that I feel like I understand the idea of One Piece more.
But I do think, like, I think most people would say the storyline matters most. But then I'm like trying to think of like examples in life where anime or not, of things that just like were a really good story, but they did not have the production to pull it off. I feel like that's a less of a thing with anime. Maybe we never see the really, really, really bad anime. But like I feel like there's less thing with anime and more thing with like live action productions where like they don't have the budget to pull off the vision.
What about you? Like, sure, you can say it. He's like, you got to start somewhere. I do agree with that. I didn't give a lot of anime that time and that space to, though, which is where I'm speaking from now. Like, I can own up to that and realize that. And a lot of stuff I'm going back now and watching. But I'm trying to think of one that, like, was maybe, like, not the best.
I mean, when I was looking up some that have low production value, I mean, I saw Kill la Kill, and I think a lot of times in anime, what you'll see if they don't have the biggest. I mean, if they don't have the biggest budget, you'll usually see it when it comes to like fight scenes. I feel
that's when they like put their foot in it.
I mean, well, I feel like if they don't have the budget, the fight scenes are short, or they're more like they feel more like like a lot of cuts.
That's like One Punch Man. The first season had some really great fights. I thought they had some really great animated fights, but then we get to the second season, the visuals took an obvious step down. I feel like, and when it came to really giving service to these fights, there wasn't much fan service. It was like this fight is happening, 1, 2, 3, boom, it's done. And that carried through the whole season, which I was really disappointed in because I was really looking forward to seeing Garo. I think that's how you say his name. The human monster. And I think I just did like a sneak peek into the latest chapter of One Punch Man because I don't read the manga, but I wanted to see like where they were, like who's still in the story. And well, spoiler alert. Mute for the next 20 seconds.
Right. I don't.
Garo was still there, but like in this crazy super god form, and I'm just like, how are they still fighting? Aren't you One Punch Man? Shouldn't this have been over a long time ago?
Right.
All right, spoiler over.
I think that's the hard. I mean, like I said, I didn't watch it. It took too long to make another season of it. By that point, I had like kind of completely lost interest. But like, I think it started off as like this running joke, and so yeah, I have no idea how they morph it into an actual like storyline and stuff like that. I don't even know, but I feel like this is also one of the issues with something like that, where it's kind of like
I gave them space because I realized that okay, they're doing this thing where he just comes in at the tail end, and the development is more so given to the other characters. But right. I just don't see how you do that for 160 some odd chapters.
Yeah, that seems excessive.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the kind of stuff that'll lose me. I definitely would stop watching the show if it gets to that point. So, I mean, I do like the first thing I thought of, I think when you brought up this topic was like Demon Slayer. Because of course, you know, you always have those edgy anime fans who like, if everybody likes it, they hate it. Right. So, like, that's one of the complaints. Some people who don't like Demon Slayer say that it has high production value, but not a great storyline. Do you think that's true? Do you think they lean too much on the production in Demon Slayer? Or do you think that it's good?
I think because I'm one that I enjoy the story of Demon Slayer. Do I think it's incredibly original if it's just never been done before? No. But I think because it does have a good storyline, it has great character development within the storyline. So you care about the characters a lot more. And then the actual animation, you know, with that being separate, is such put to a high tier, I feel like. It's so much thought put into almost every episode back to back. So people, I feel like, put the story or don't give the story or the character development much consideration because the anime, the art is so amazing. So that's kind of the selling point when you're trying to get people to watch it. And I feel like sometimes it might take over, but I stand behind Demon Slayer on both ends. And I see this. What anime is similar to Demon Slayer? I'm not saying that the actual anime is the same, but the tropes, like, you know, you have this set of 12 villains, and you got this set of 12 good guys, and eventually, you know, they're all gonna end up battling each other, sword fighting demons. Like, it's not crazy original, you know. But the way they handle it and the way they move throughout the show, I think is super creative and interesting. That's why I'm invested every episode.
Thank you, Spitfire. Happy Father's Day to you, Spitfire. Thank you for telling me I was muted. I was going to say, yeah, I think it's a typical shonen like Clash of the Titans. Like typical setup, one team versus another team. This person fights this person.
Right.
But I
that's
think
more so what I mean.
Yeah, I don't agree with that whole, like, it's not good. I think if we're talking about shonen as well, if you put Demon Slayer next to other shonen, I feel like Demon Slayer is a good shonen. Like in the sense that you do feel like the stakes are higher in something like Demon Slayer versus their shows like My Hero or something where I would be shocked if any of your faves die. Not to say they won't. Or like most shonen, like people gonna die. You know somebody's gonna die along the way. But in Demon Slayer, you really do feel like the stakes are higher. Like even when we were playing, you really just don't know. Like, oh, is this person gonna die? Who's gonna die? So
I really am on edge a lot more than I am about like a Naruto or like a even a Bleach, because we see a lot of our main characters make it to the very end, you know.
Right.
Yeah. Besides the characters that they bring in and try and make it seem like a main character before they cut them off.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. So I don't agree with that. I think people just try to be edgy and not like what the general population likes. Like I feel like that's what happens a lot with Demon Slayer. I think it's a good mix of like the production value and a good story. Like it's like I said, for shonen, it's up there for me. I'm not really a shonen person, but I like it. Spitfire said they suspect that it's a Japanese thing more so than an anime thing. Gurren Lagann was the main shonen I see where there's a huge character there.
Yeah.
That hurt.
Yeah.
And they set us up for their deal. Like they from episode 1, they set us up to be completely destroyed by their death.
Give you the Ned Stark treatment. Build this
Oh,
person up, put him on all the promotional posters, make him seem like he's gonna be it, and then end of the season, just gonna cut that head off on the order of a
yeah.
13-year-old.
But like I said, I feel like in anime, this isn't really an issue as much. I don't think bad production holds back any stories that I've seen. Like we were having a
Okay, I feel
conversation,
you.
like some of the older Gundam is low production. I think high production cost and budgets is a newer phenomenon for anime.
Yeah.
Not like I think Evangelion had big because it's huge over there, like huge in Japan. So that got the budget later on, but even the first, season of it was not high budget. I feel like all old anime was low. So I feel like this big anime studio with these high production costs and teams is like a newer thing because anime is kind of like a worldwide phenomenon more than it used to be.
Yeah,
I think production is subjective.
That's true.
In what sense?
I mean, everything is subjective. Well, not everything. Majority of things are subjective, but I get what you're saying about production. I feel like I get what you're saying, like, to each his own type of thing, where your taste lies when it comes to production.
Right.
I just think, like, there's the ones that obviously stick out. Old anime where cell shading and
that's true
on ones.
That's true. Like hand drawing animation limits the capabilities of what you can show.
Because we probably wasn't going to see no fight scenes like we saw in Jujutsu Kaisen with the clapping and teleporting. We wasn't going to see that back in the early 90s. And the late 80s.
Or Demon Slayer. I mean, because like those are like 3D rendered, right?
Right. Yeah.
Like those fights, which beautiful.
Yeah, they are, and it's eye catching. But I think that's where like a certain wave of anime fans come from, to where it's all about the spectacle. And if it's not that, then it's boring. Like some people that would never watch a slice of life. Some people that would never watch something like what I'm watching now. I'm gonna stand for that in a minute. But Monster, because it's not like a crazy storyline where there's constant fighting or anything. It's more like a psychological horror. But
Death Note looked like it had a bomb ass production budget.
That's true. The cinematography, yeah, that's true. The cinematography and Death Note, some of them shots, the way they did camera pan and angles was really, really top tier.
I was gonna say. So I don't know. I mean, I started this anime slice of life called Sailor with Ukebi's Sailor Uniform or something like that. Stupid high production for a slice of life, just for no fucking reason. I mean, they're animating strands of her hair falling in her face while she's eating
and that stuff gets me so. Sorry, naughty word, naughty phrase. It just it does it for me when I like even if it's not like take yourself back to like the Final Fantasy where you're playing like the game and it has that certain graphics, but then when you hit that cutscene and each hair just falls. If you give me a shot like that in anime, where I guess in Naruto, I hate constantly bringing up Naruto for examples, but Naruto in the early days was really good with giving so animation until all of a sudden Orochimaru pop out and Sasuke got a fight, and then that shit just shaped the fuck up.
Yeah, and I think I'm sure you can reference like Naruto changing the animation style to give you a sense of the scale of the fights. Which I think is really smart.
You knew it was once that all of a sudden the thick outlines and stuff like that become real fine and crisp. You just know somebody else stepped in the illustration chat.
I'm like, who boy? Yeah, like I just like, man, if the whole show looked like this, would it probably be super expensive? Let's see. I think you moved into adult anime life where it's no longer a cartoon; it just shows. So he watches a lot of life now. Beyond, but I enjoy all of it. Like at this point in my otaku life, like anime is TV. I mean, you know what I mean? Like it's not really like because just a fighting show.
That's how it should be appreciated, because there's some themes and some like plot points and life lessons that I could not gonna say never, but I've got a lot more of those throughout my years.
Could never.
Right. like growing up watching anime honestly has informed a lot of the ways I like my mannerisms or the way I
Right.
handle situations or look at life. A lot of that comes from anime. I mean, even when I smile, and this is just kind of, I don't want it to be like cultural appropriate or like, I don't know, like, or see racist or something, but it's not in my thought process when it happens. But a lot of times when I'm walking through the street and I see people and they wave at me, like I'll smile, but I'll close my eyes.
Oh
I
no!
give one.
I mean, my eyes naturally do that, but like that's I wish life was, I get that though. You feel like you're like I'm the main character
But
of
like,
my
I'm not
anime.
not even me thinking about it. I'm not thinking like, oh, this is how I'm gonna say hey. But sometimes I'll notice it after an interaction. I'll be like, did I just give a little?
I do, on a side note, I do appreciate some of the Japanese, like, just body language things that
I
they
love
have
it.
that we don't
I
have,
love
and
it.
definitely is underappreciated. I love that, they're active listening. It's like,
And
like
that's
all
a
their
good part
sounds.
of me loving subs over dubs a lot of the time because I just love how much these Japanese VAs they really like give to a role. Like they really are acting out every breath, every syllable, every emotion. Like I hear it, I feel it. And sometimes when I see it, listen to American voice acting, although like there are some good, like I don't know why I have to preface that, there are some amazing voice acting shows. Like
But it just,
Monster I'm watching
you're
right now
mixed
is so
matching a
good.
cultural, like a whole different culture with different sounds, inflections,
Yeah,
non-verbal cues. You're matching that with a whole nother culture, and sometimes it just doesn't
exactly,
land the same
exactly.
way.
And that's you said that so eloquently, and I'm gonna start using that moving forward when I talk about this subject because that's the perfect way to put it. It's just
Right.
something about it doesn't quite fit.
Right.
Most of the time it's something about it just not really fit and it takes me out of it. Like I want to be
Yeah.
immersed, I want to be lost all the
We
time.
don't have a lot of the nonverbal cues that they have either. I
Hmm.
mean, they're so different. I mean, because I remember taking Japanese in college, and like my professor just like giving us a clip of just like Japanese stuff. Because came this point in the lesson where we started learning about like nonverbal Japanese things, just like hand
Hmm.
motions they do, and like certain. And it's just like
Hmm.
when you think about like how much you're watching an anime, and like a lot of that stuff is we're missing it because we don't even, it has no context for us. Like
Right.
I think that's kind of also why like subs don't always land. I mean, there's some good ones, but still, like I
Hmm.
agree. Even the good ones, like there's just sounds and things that you just not gonna catch.
Now the only one I not the only one. The one that I like have been watching in nothing but dub because I even switched over to the sub for a couple episodes, but
Mhm.
I end up switching right back because I don't know, it's just something about the voice actors that they chose. I got to look them up and see exactly who they are, but I've just been
Mhm.
interested in watching it. But yeah, I'd highly recommend if I haven't said it enough, y'all. It's Monster. It came out. The manga came out in 1994. And I think it ran
Monster.
until
Okay.
1996, maybe later than that.
Oh,
But
that's an oldie.
the anime came out in 2004,
Okay.
and it
Okay.
ran until 2010, I think. Um,
Oh, we got somebody in the back. Okay, we got somebody in the back. I'm gonna change the overlay. Go ahead, finish your thought, and then I'll bring it
yeah,
back.
I'm just saying it was like it's really taken me by storm, and it's one of those anime that I'm so mad I didn't watch when it was airing, or I didn't watch it in
Right.
my youth, because I feel like that's one of those animes that would have elevated me sooner to the type of anime that I would watch. You know, for me, Death Note was the first one that I watched like that really had me interested in other stuff that was just punching and kicking and power ups.
Right. I mean,
But
it
Monster
Death Note
definitely would
did
have been that for me.
change the game. I don't think I would have been the type of person that would have said, I want to watch a psychological thriller like
Hmm.
of an anime or something. I mean, yeah. So I mean, Death Note, Cowboy Bebop, and Psychopaths definitely
Yes,
um
Cowboy Bebop,
helped me
Psychopaths.
like be
Yeah.
able to just watch different stuff. Let's see. I'm gonna bring Jay up. We got Jay in the
Psychopaths was
back.
doing a lot. Psychopaths with them
He
guns
was
and the
doing a lot.
explosions. I was a little like, hold on, wait a
I
minute.
was gonna say, y'all know
He
about
said it was
Psycho
doing a
Pass
lot.
now?
Hey
Buster,
Jay,
come
welcome to
on.
the show.
Thank
Hello,
you.
What's up, man?
hello.
Long time no see. I ain't seen you in a minute.
How
I
you been,
know he
man?
couldn't ever get his thing to work when he came on Millie,
Well,
but
no,
I'm
no,
glad
that's
he.
that's because I kept using it on the phone. That's the problem.
Oh,
The phone doesn't work. And guys, this
yeah.
Samsung S20. All right, so don't get off my neck. This
Yeah,
should
no, it
work.
does not work well on the phone at all. I
If you have
definitely
an
agree.
Android, and I have an Android.
I got a Samsung too, but that's the reason why I'm using my Apple to stream and not this.
So you got two phones?
Huh?
Yeah.
So you
It's
rocking
one of
two?
those
That's
deals.
crazy.
Got two phones.
No, I heard y'all. Sorry about that, but I
Go
heard
ahead.
both y'all conversation of that animes that are just different. And I know when Bree was on the show with me and my little brother, and we told her that there were certain anime, like she could actually tell how we were speaking to her that we weren't meatheads. How we
Yeah, go ahead.
some of the slice of life stuff or some of the stuff that's kind of psychological, tragedy, suspense. Those can be just as good as the action ones.
100%.
People have, newbie anime fans have the attention span of a goldfish, and all they care about is action. So when they don't really care about the slice of life aspect.
Yeah, that was me.
For example, I actually want to give you one to watch. That's all comedy, and it's freaking hilarious. I was in college when I watched this, y'all. The daily lives of high school boys. That shit is sitcom funny, bro. I promise you. I'm like, let me give this a try. Man. I had nothing better to do because I got done with my homework when I was in the freaking library. I decided to watch it. I had my headphones on. But this shit was funny, bro.
What's it called again?
Listen, the daily lives of high school boys. You want to know a good anime? Is when you can look at the thumbnail and tell. Because just looking at this, let it focus if y'all can see it. Just looking at this, you can clearly see each person's fucking personality so well. I know I'ma love this motherfucker so hard.
You gonna like him?
I know.
It's hilarious. I just never seen anything so funny that I literally spent every second. It was just the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life.
And I told people it wasn't overdone. It wasn't overbearing. Like they let you off what type of series that this is. And guess what? I'm gonna see if anybody reacted to this. You got black brothers, like this group of brothers that react to almost every new anime. These brothers reacted to all the high school episodes. They said, "Yo, this is the funniest stuff we've ever seen." Man.
I need a good hilarious one. I feel like I really don't watch or see a lot of anime that are legitimately like hilarious to me. There are some chuckles, there's some laughs. Like Mob Psycho. Reagan used to make me tear up sometimes with the facial expressions he would do. He was, but even that one wasn't one that I was like sitting here in stitches the whole time. Like I really do kind of want one of those because I got my other one. I got my crying ones. I got those down. My action, my thrillers, my horror. I don't really got a good comedy one, so I'm looking forward to it. I'm probably gonna watch it tonight.
Don't Konosuba in there. That's the most popular one.
Konosuba. I started Konosuba. I don't know why I didn't finish it.
Yeah, it's funny too. It definitely kept me laughing.
Like it
kept me laughing.
It's an expect kind of a comedy, and I like that. I'm talking about pure comedy, where it's just like whether it has the etchiness in there or not, I don't care. That's a byproduct. It was just funny because the main character, he's so different from everybody. Like the other isekai characters, he's just making everybody look like a damn fool. I just can't. I love him.
They have some of the most hilarious moments I've ever seen. Yeah. But Jay, do you have any anime when you think of a low production anime? We talked about a few. We've talked about a few that like are low production but have great stories, which I mean obviously are a lot of the older anime where they're hand drawn and they don't have that. But do you know of any new? I can't think of any new anime that like.
I don't want to get no hate for this, but one that I just story and art that just don't do it for me too much. There's some character designs I like, but I am not a fan of Canon Busters. I want it to be so bad.
Oh yeah.
I just don't like Canon Busters, man. I tried. I really did.
As a number, it's a mixed bag to be honest.
But that one hurt though, because I feel like the production cost was. I feel like the production, but I mean, maybe it's because of the studio. I know he was started. Yeah. Okay, so let me tell y'all, this my brother right here, and he said that's his boy. He does actually know LaShawn Thomas, the guy who made Canon Busters.
Yeah, I know. I was like, I feel
and all that. So that's my boy. So did he suffer budget? I wonder if he suffered budget limitations.
Well, honestly, because I do like the fact that you have that type of connection with that that creator. So, like, how do you what is your critique on it? Like, how do you feel about it? Like, I guess you don't have to go into crazy example, but like, give it like a rating and just a brief description of how you felt about it.
Yeah,
because I did watch it in a place where I was kind of watching back-to-back anime that wasn't catching my attention, and I feel like Canon Busters may have been like 5th and 6th in the line, and I was like, and I kept moving. So I would be open to it if you could like really like give me something to be like.
He's already responding. He said there's always budget constraints, but he had to move to Korea to get it done. Why did LaShawn have to move to Korea to get it done? Could he not find a Japanese studio that would like do it for him, or like was it just a budget thing? And it's one of those things where you're working through how to do this while doing it. That's true, because he had to learn he kind of had to learn while he was doing it. So I do think it's
stuff with that type of background to it to give it that grace, because I'm looking at it in the lens of, oh, this is another badass, especially because I was so excited about just the black of it all. Like I was like, this looks like it's going to be great from the previews I saw, and I love the music. That opening song to Canon Busters,
right?
I love it.
Of course you
did.
That's it.
No, it's great.
Yeah.
They all formed those out to Korean work studios. Okay. So, but I do think it's a legitimate example. I think the story itself wasn't really strong. I look at it more as like his ode to anime. Like somebody like LaShawn Thomas like loves anime and like loves the art of it as a black person growing up. So maybe for me it felt unoriginal, but then I kind of thought of it as the lens of like, I'm getting to make my own anime. I'm gonna just give an ode to the best things I loved about like mechas and like, this hero story. So when I looked at it more like that way, I'm not gonna say it's like, but I did list it in my Black History anime list for that reason, because it's like, it's LaShawn Thomas. He's doing it for the culture.
And I feel like, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
No, but there were some issues. So,
I think perspective changes a lot in many different aspects when it comes to entertainment. Like I can't tell you how many times I listened to a song the first time was like trash, and then got drunk, listened to it in the club, and was like, "This is everything." No, really. And I feel like sometimes with anime, it's the same way. Like I said, there's been anime that and that's like I talked to you about this, like a hashtag classics that I've never appreciated. Or like really never gave the reverence it deserved, and maybe even made me just pass it along. Like I feel like I could have come across Monster and like saw the thumbnail or watched the first episode and was like, "Oh yeah, but where's the fire?"
That's a good one.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of binging it now. I think I'm like episode 3 out of like 74, and yeah, I'm scared. If I ever saw somebody like Johan Lieber in person, I'm not going nowhere near you, baby.
And I tell everybody, man, see, the best thing about him is that he doesn't have any superpowers. He can manipulate anyone's psychology. That's why I like him. Like
from 9.
Like if you have daddy issues, mommy issues, he can just manipulate you. He can make you do whatever he wants you to do, and after that, he'll make you X yourself. That's why I like him. He can just manipulate.
Shout out to. Sorry to interrupt. Shout out to Summer Mince Pie. She just redeemed Sing Mode for 2,500 points. So for the next for the next minute, you have to sing everything you say. But carry on. Continue y'all's conversation, please.
But the thing about Johan is that he don't give a fuck if you a child or an adult. The way he made that little boy almost kill himself when he couldn't find his parents.
Yo.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
Yo, he's on some Zero shit. Like, I'll send you both to hell for this shit. First of all,
I have nothing.
Quiet Breed for one of the best series that is very behind you.
Fruits Basket. Yeah,
I gotta give you your points because I actually want to talk about that with you. That's for damn sure. Because if you guys,
on it.
That was anime back in the day that didn't have the great production. That's one of the ones. But also it didn't get fully adapted. You gotta understand that. And the craziest thing with the dub now, they got the same people they did last time, except for a few new extra characters like Rin and Momiji. Yeah, Momiji sounds way better than we did in the original. And
I love them both.
Production wasn't all that well, but when they got a greenlit to be redone, I was like, yo, we actually. I said, hopefully they don't fuck it up this time.
No, they did a good job.
On well command, and then once they did the first season, I was like, okay, There's some hope here. Just don't screw it
up. Hold on, Jay. Yella
said
you're not singing. Yella said you're supposed to be singing.
Sing moment, everyone. Me?
Yep.
I only sing Japanese songs. Who you?
I thought it was just hosts. I didn't know it was everybody.
Yeah, it was just
us. Brittany, I haven't heard you utter a note.
I ain't have nothing. No, it's been a minute, and y'all were in conversation on the anime I have not watched, so I had nothing to say.
You still not singing now. You still not singing now.
The minute's over. The minute's over.
Oh, whatever. I hopefully you enjoy mine for them coins. Thank you.
Yeah, you did great. You did a great job.
We'll get Usher and Nicole with one, and we'll see like they come up with a track together.
Yeah.
But I know y'all were talking about. Let's see, but no, finish your thought about Fruits Basket. I'm sorry, I didn't want you.
Well, see, Twan, you can be part of this too, because I actually, damn, we don't have to do. If we're gonna talk about that, that's 3 seasons, and I know that's a lot. I'll be honest, that's a lot of talk, a lot of characters we gotta cover for that whole thing. Because
I mean, yeah, that is a detail.
I mean, you mean be real? I mean, I read the whole book when I was in high school, and my my female friend, she's my sister now to this day. She got me on that series. I checked it out around that time. She's like, read the book is better. Read the book. I was like, yo, I'm like,
wait, like it's one of those light novels, or are you talking about the manga?
No, not a light novel. It's actually a manga. It's actually a manga series.
Yeah.
And also, with the prelude that just came out, what was a light novel was how her mom and her dad got together.
Mm-hmm. And that's the one that's coming out, right? And Yellow redeemed.
It's been out.
He redeemed Sing Mo. He said, "Try this again from the diaphragm, please."
So, Brittany, do you have any interesting ideas about fruit baskets?
I don't. But I have a song dedicated to Yellow.
Okay. All right.
So fuck you. Fuck you. That's my song dedicated to Yellow.
I see you driving around town, tipping bits for me to go sing. Fuck you.
Fuck you. Fuck you. There you go.
I apologize, Yellow. That was uncalled for your generosity.
That's my evil twin. We get to cuss each other out on the internet for free. It's cool.
But real quick, just a shout out, because Fruit Baskets, and this is crazy because I was such a hardcore fight scenes, where's the action, give me the graphics. My first mangas I ever remember reading, at least, was I would go to the Columbus Library and go to the little young adult section, check out the mangas, and Fruit Baskets and Peach Girl were two.
No, he's gonna say Peach Girl. How did I know you were gonna say Peach Girl? It's either Peach Girl or Fushigi Yuji. That's the only one in the library that they had. Mm-hmm. I still got. Hey, listen to all y'all out there who think I just like action, guys. Never underestimate your dude, because he actually got the wooden girls when he read some romance novels. So notice,
I'm like an onion.
In my closet, bro. So
I'm like an onion. I got layers.
So yeah,
I love it.
That's one low quality but a pretty damn good story. It's not a 10 out of 10 story, but it's like a solid. Okay, I'll say this. You can say another Inuyasha before Inuyasha came out. That's what you can say. But you'll like the main guy more than you like that romance between Inuyasha and Kagome more, I think, because it makes more sense. And not to mention, you had a best friend trying to go for the dude too. So
Inuyasha's on our problematic 2022 list.
Oh, I didn't know that. Inuyasha, what you were saying, or what was that? Was it like adjacent to Inuyasha, or was it Inuyasha?
Inuyasha, the main.
Oh, okay, yeah.
No, we were just making the joke that the fact that Shishomaru wifed up Rin and had kids with her is problematic. Yeah. We're not cancelable. We're just a tad bit problematic. Just a tad.
It's different. But I would never live to be 3,000, so I don't know how I feel if I was 3,000.
He's not 3,000. You just keep messing with. You just keep making this man 3,000.
But you get my point. This man has lived.
I got your point.
And if I was 300, I can't imagine if I looked the way I did now, and I saw somebody else that was like, I don't know, 20.
20, but I'm 300 years old.
Okay, but we look the same. It's
the whole vampire thing, man.
If we was walking in public, I wouldn't be batted. Let me not say 20 because that's minor
I'm with
status.
y'all.
21. But if I was 300, I'm saying like it's some hot little. Listen, if I'm 60, if I'm 70, and a little 25, 27-year-olds looking at me, I'm a bite.
I mean, if you want to live out your sugar mama daddy dreams,
no, ain't nobody spending money. We going to the cougar grave robber status. Let's do that because ain't nobody spending no money.
I do want to say before I move on to the next talking point that I watched Fruit Basket when I was like in high school, and I used to go to this program at Georgia State University for like SAT prep and stuff. And for our lunches, we would go find an empty like classroom and we would play like. We would watch this show. So there'd be like a room of like 15 people just like in there, like at a desk. It looked like we were like taking notes. We sit at the desk, we eat our lunch, and we would watch Fruits Basket. And it was like one of my like favorite memories from high school. Just
that
like sitting there with other nerds, like watching Fruits Basket for lunch period at our SAT prep like summer program. It was like one of my favorite memories. So like it always holds a special place in my heart for that because I had found my group of blerds. It was like my first not family group of blerd playing. I think I've been lucky with blerds, but
it sounds like it from our previous conversations. I'm always jealous when I hear you talk about stories because I didn't have that for a long time.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't realize how lucky I was.
I feel you on that one.
So it's special.
You relate a lot to some of the characters. Like whether you're a girl or a dude, I tell people like, bro, I was Keo incarnate in high school. You might tell me middle school or high school, bro, I was Keo 24/7. Now that I'm older, I'm more like I'm a mix between Yuki and Hatsuharu now. I realize
you would have been their Zodiacs if you got like hugged or some affection, which that's what you would have turned into, or would you be something different?
So you turn into
yeah, because like I think I'm learning more, becoming more Hatsuharu like, but I'm more Yuki right now. I'm gonna be honest. Now that I'm older and I was, I'm more Yuki now, more after that. But I was Kyo incarnate, bro. I just get in the fights. I just angry all the time. It's just like, bro, and I had a hard time speaking. Not when I was more in high school, it was more middle school, going into high school. And I'm like, dude, I can understand. I'm like, dude, I see you. Me. Yeah, exactly. Right. Like, he's like, that motherfucker's me.
And you see me.
Yeah, right.
You know, that's the beauty. That's the beauty of it. You should be able to see yourself in some of these characters. Let me move to the next talking point. The next talking point is that I do think sometimes when we're talking about high production, there is a threat of, as the production gets higher, there are going to be creators who are leaning on how good it looks instead of the storytelling. Yeah, the substance. I think anime is going to be a little, I'm not as concerned about it per se in anime, just because most anime come from original content, which are manga, which are hand-drawn and are really focused on the story. So I kind of don't feel like that's a big threat to anime per se, unless we start coming out with anime, just original stories, straight to anime, not adapted from manga. What do y'all think? Do y'all think that's a threat as the production teams and costs get higher, or do you feel like it's kind of foolproof as long as it's adapted from manga?
I don't know about foolproof. And the example I gave earlier was Tech.0. I'm not a huge fan of it, although it looks brilliant to me. It literally looks like a masterpiece visually. Some of the fights and the way that they fight with music, or like the musical score behind it, like I think it's really cool, but I think it's just really lacking on the actual likability of certain characters, like. And I don't know. I didn't do any research to see where they feel like their shortcomings were. But I don't know. I feel like a lot was put on the production of value of it to compete with a lot of the stuff that we see now that's killing it on both ends. And I don't know 100% if they are. Have y'all seen that one? How do you feel about it?
Yeah, no,
I haven't seen that one.
A little bit of it. But
how you feel about it, Joe?
It could use some work when I first saw it. And I think there were like budgeting talks or issues whenever I felt like I watched it, and it's like, you're sacrificing something, you're sacrificing more like the story just for the production value, or it's like you sacrifice production for story.
And that's how I feel like they do.
Ruby's the best one I can bring up for this, because when it first came out, the first 2 seasons, it looked like PS1, PS2 graphics, and I can understand, but hey,
don't do Spyro like that, bro. Don't do Spyro like that.
Twan knows what I'm talking about. He's seen the freaking.
It did look like something from Blade. I agree.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm just like, but the action scenes look so good, even though it was in that thing. I guess some of the action kind of made up for it. And really, I'll be honest, there was really the driving force for those 2 seasons, Bree, was the action. It wasn't really so much the production,
Oh yeah, of
and
course.
more often not the story. I'm gonna be real about that. I'm a fan, but I can say my fanboy guys about it and be like, nah, motherfucker, the action driving this. That's the only reason I stuck with it. And you got some characters with personalities that I kind of like that made me stay in with it a little bit longer. And then when 3 came around, like, okay, now we're gonna give you the story.
Oh, what character made him stick around? What character?
That was like, I can, you keeping me here. Which one was that for you?
Yeah.
No. Who was it for you? Who was it for you? Who was that character he's asking? What character?
It was Yang and it was Blake for the most part.
Oh, okay.
Because the group is very different. You got the little sister who's just little happy go lucky. That's what she is. You have the cold ice princess. That's Weiss. Then you have the girl who's off putting, keeps to herself, who's very dark and mysterious. That's Blake. And then and then you have Yang, who's like this energetic adventurer girl who loves to fight, and actually she's the female Saiyan. If we're gonna be real, she's the one. She's the one that I like the most. Yeah, of course, I like her too. Yeah, and the thing is, like, I think when you have like polarizing characters like that, like there should be enough there to kind of make you stay, to make you feel invested.
Ooh, hold on, y'all. I'll be right back.
Oh, okay. Get back here soon, brother. I'll need you here.
I agree. I mean, so you're saying like so you did like the characters help you stay invested in that show, even when, because like for me, I like to think I'm not a production snob, but I know I wanted to watch it because I knew the backstory of like who created it and stuff, and I really wanted to watch it, but I could not get past the low production quality.
The PS1, and that's
I couldn't get past it. So maybe I'm a production snob, a little bit. Yeah, I think I'm a production snob.
I can agree with that for a good minute. Nowadays I fully will give an anime a lot more episodes before I cut it off. But
I mean, my Dress Up Darling was high production too. Like, I just love the fact that we're in this phase of life where even slice of life anime and like romance animes are finally getting the budget they deserve.
Right.
As a like shoujo, josei, like Fruits Basket was one of the few, but like as a hardcore like fan of a lot of that genre for a long time, they wasn't getting their budgets like now. Now Nana did get a budget. Nana had a good budget. Paradise Kiss, but like
they were pretty solid for their time.
Yeah, they looked really good. But we've been struggling. Some of this line art be a little shaky. Okay.
Lovely Complex suffered from actually that is a generation one. As much as I like it suffered. Yeah, I can see why some people who read the manga watch the anime. I can see why they would probably not like it, because there are some scenes where it looks good and some scenes it looks wacky.
Yeah, it'd be shaky. It'd be shaky. Sometimes them line art it'd be looking a little.
I can point out the bullshit.
That's how I felt about Attack on Titan season 1. I'm like, what are these thick ass lines? They shaped up.
That was a stylistic choice, and that did not translate well at the end.
I think it was a stylistic choice. Yeah, and at first I was kind of cool for it, but I was hoping, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think it ended once they got older, once they did that first time skip. Because that's what I was expecting. I was like, okay, they're doing this whole, like, these are children, thick lines, gives a little something. But
a little bit more, Oh, his sound just went out. Twan, your sound just went out.
Twan, can you hear us?
Twan, your mic just went out.
Yeah, your sound went out.
Something. We can't hear you. Not yet. We can't hear you yet. It's still, it just went like when you adjusted it, it got low and then it just kind of went out. Like maybe it's a short or something. Like it got lower and then it went out. I can see you.
Yeah, I can see
I don't know if you're saying, can you see me? We can see you. We just can't hear you.
We can see you. We just can't hear you. That's all.
Yeah.
I hate that. But I have to do that because I make it seem like somebody is deaf. I don't want to do that.
but I am because, like I said, on Otaku Talk, we always try to keep it anime, but in relatable way. So I am going to move, just for the people who are tuning in and watching who maybe don't know any of these anime, we're going to move this conversation into what I think is a good example of one of the problems sometimes when you have high production. Like I said, I think anime is pretty foolproof. We do know some. Oh, I can hear myself through Twan's laptop.
Yeah, sorry, I was just trying to, because I was out, I couldn't hear nothing for a second.
But okay. But we can hear you now. Okay. We're going to move the conversation into the more relatable section of the show, where we try to let people who are watching this who don't watch anime. So if you know any video games that suffer this fate, or my favorite to talk about, Game of Thrones. We know the production value really kicked up towards the end of Game of Thrones. After it had a full-on fandom, they took 10 years of my life. I want some money back for that. But they lost track of the story. Like they really, like as the production went up, like I feel like they almost forgot what they were supposed to be doing. Like there's so many unfinished storylines, like smaller storylines that I feel like they built up in the beginning of Game of Thrones that we just never got an answer to. So what are some shows, like if you want to chime in on Game of Thrones, or what are some shows that you know that suffered that, like high production, horrible storytelling, or video games? Talking about you, Anthem.
Oh, video games. I don't have a video game thing. It's more anime and maybe like what she just said, Game of Thrones, like the biggest one for me.
Yeah, let me think. I think just speaking on Game of Thrones before we move on from it, I agree with you, Bree. I feel like because the demand for like more dragons, you know, more scenic, and those action scenes. I think it was Dan and Dave, right? That were the
Dan, yeah, the two guys. I don't know. I almost don't say their name. They're like Voldemort. But
that's what I'm saying. I feel like they tried to give us what we wanted in that sense, but kind of got lost. And then when it got to the point where the show was, you know, out speeding the actual source material, the books and everything, I feel like they might have, even though they did have George R.R. Martin there to give, like,
I don't know. Was he really there?
I don't know. I
feel like it's like a weekend at Barney's thing. Like he was there, but not really, because
I don't really see that, and I think that's a large reason as to why Dan and Dave are a part of the sequel that's happening with Jon Snow. You know, I feel like this whole sequel with Jon Snow, which I feel like is unnecessary. I feel like they're doing it kind of to piggyback off of the whole reception of the last season. I feel like it's a way to apologize.
You think they doing kind of like how Star Wars did to apologize for that horrible last trilogy by giving us Dave Filoni, you know, with Mandalorian. And these Star Wars series have been slapping. Like the best apology you could ever give for that bullshit y'all did.
I'm not a huge, so I'm like bow out of this portion of the conversation because
I'm just saying that they Star Wars did that successfully with what they did after the Force Awakens trilogy. They kind of started giving us shows, like they gave us like you know, the Mandalorian, which are great, and they had a very strong director come in and work on it, and it almost like kind of like, okay, let's go back and explain some of the problems.
I haven't seen an episode. Like
it's so good. That was it's so good. But they kind of went back and fixed some of the problems with like holes in the story, and so I think maybe they are going to try to do that, like you said, with the Jon Snow series. Like, okay, this is why this happened, and this is why this happened. But you, sure, you can say Halo Infinite had a good budget. Yep, definitely was one of those. What else? Any other shows y'all can think of that had that problem? I think it's more of a video game thing. Like I said, Anthem had the world's largest budget and was putting out promo material for years and had everybody ordering.
What's the latest blasphemy? What was it? Cyberpunk.
Ooh, Cyberpunk.
Are you talking about the game Cyberpunk?
Yeah.
I haven't played that yet. I'm free to play. People say
I don't know. I haven't caught up now with possible patches or whatever that could have come out since then, because I tried to stick with it for a good solid couple months, just hoping that eventually through patches stuff would be better. Because that shit, when I talk, it looked like Legoland when I first booted it up. I'm talking about shit just randomly missing. I'm not able to continue through the game. They want to put the attention in other places where I'm just like, do we really need these floppy genitalia? The penis physics on these character design. Because
talking hentai language now.
When you that's true.
No, it's okay. It's fine. I'm cackling. It's hilarious.
When you create a character in Cyberpunk, when you first started, they give it to you all. You can create a transgender character. You can create.
You create the genitals too?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and it's just there. It's right.
What is this important to the story?
Not that I know of too much. There's some sex scenes, but I didn't get that far to see if it's over here with all the.
Do your custom genitalia show up in the sex scenes?
I didn't see it many. I didn't get. I quit like 20% through.
Not me wanting to go play it so I can see if my custom genitalia matter to the storyline.
Comment you just put
That's
up,
fun.
Though?
It's a good game on current gen consoles. He said yes, you can. So sure, you can. The genitals show up, and you can just say it out loud. Do the genitals show up? Do the genitals show up in the sex? I'm sorry, I'm cackling. This is making me. This is tickling me beyond anything. So that's why they budget went to peens and pussy.
Yeah, but they should have actually put it to. I mean, because that's a big thing. Yeah, it probably was great because it was. I hear it was amazing on PCs, and I hear it was pretty good on the current gen consoles.
Oh, okay. He said he hasn't gotten to that point yet. He don't know.
But it just wasn't. It wasn't the best, and I was going to fight for my money back, but I was like, nah, we just chuck it up as a loss. Learn our lessons about being too hyped up for games that we don't have too much context around.
And that's why I think I appreciate animated. They don't do that to us, but games they're definitely good for it. What were you going to say, Jay?
Well, I agree with Twan what he just said just now. When he said just I would say wait till you hear more from it. To be honest. Get the gameplay. I'm spending some of the gameplay. Don't spoil yourself silly, but know how it flows. What's the production for it? All that, and then check it out. Me, I can't think it was the last game I played. Damn.
Shout out to Before You Buy YouTube channel.
That too.
Before You Buy, okay.
But I think it's just a matter of Actually, I'll go to a visual novel I played. Everybody's played Doki Doki. I already knew what that was going to it because I have visual PC games.
He looking at my face.
Yeah, so exactly.
We've all played it.
But since I like dark stuff, I already knew that one. And guys, I have played an H1 before, and that was crazy because that was a murder one too. I'm like, yo, rated R Jason for everybody. But it was a matter of you can get. Don't expect animation on that. Just expect good wallpaper scenes and talking and good voice acting with them when they have it.
And for everybody watching, you can watch me play Doki Doki on this channel. There is a playlist of me playing through Doki Doki.
Oh yeah, I did see that. I saw that by the way.
If you've never seen it, go check out that playlist. I'll link it in the video.
I was so guilty watching you play that. So it was like a strange.
Twan made me play it.
It was such a strange.
Who made you play it?
Enjoy it.
Twan, I played Doki Doki. I'd never heard of it or anything before I played it, and Twan was like, "You should play Doki Doki." So I played it, and I went live while I played it on Twitch. I live streamed the whole thing, the whole playthrough, and then I edited down and put highlights on YouTube. So the playlist is the first one is a full live playthrough. It's not edited, and then the second two are me editing it down. So. But yeah, I did play it, and it was disturbing to say.
It was disturbing. Okay, so that's how you felt.
Yeah, it was crazy.
I just love watching
You're supposed
her try her hardest.
You're supposed to feel happy.
She was trying.
I was trying to get the good ending that didn't exist. That I didn't know at the time.
But I love when it got the time to choose the words for the poem. And I told her, when you pick words that make the characters jump up, you're more than likely to impress them or whatever. And I think they was giving her some good selections. They would put stuff like miserable and then happy, but then somewhere in the game they started giving her nothing but death, despair, turmoil. And the way Bree was breaking down, trying not to choose these options.
I know, I was trying to pick all the happy words. I was like,
no.
Yeah, it was terrible.
It was. I got a question.